Hey guys, Pulsating Sack back here with a small update video for the build. Some stuff we're going to go over today are some common questions asked in the last video, some tree updates, gear updates, and then some big channel updates that I wanted to cover. So let's get started. Can I use Ice Strike or Storm Wave instead of Tempest Flurry? The answer is yes. If you prefer one of those over Tempest Flurry, then you can use it. It's very minimal, no changes besides, what's in the gym itself. But with Ice Strike, potentially more damage. However, you're going to lose Electrocute, which is safer for the mapping. And then it's less attack speed. For Storm Wave, it's ranged. So it is slightly safer. But we use Charge Staff anyway. So, however, it is less damage, right? So just keep those two things in mind if you want to switch to one of those. All right, so next question. Mana issues, what can I do? Alright, so I figure most of the people that have mana issues are using a staff with +4, +5, 6, or 7 melee skills. So with that being said, focus on getting a higher physical DPS weapon first, right? Before you focus on that. Now let's say you have a 700 physical DPS weapon and +7 melee skills. You're going to have mana issues, right? So we'll go over some things you can do to change that. So now Inspiration will be an easy swap into Tempest Flurry over Crescendo. That's something you could do. And then going into the passive tree, you're going to take Siphon instead. We'll go over what you'd give up, but Siphon, you could take Mana Leech on Jewels, which we have up here. So increased amount of Mana Leech on Jewels, you could throw that in. Immortal Thirst on the tree. So this is easy, 4 points, 3 points right here. You could take Deep Trance, which is going to be up here, which is going to reduce cost of skills. And then last but not least, you could take Conservative Casting, which is going to reduce mana cost of skills. This will give you another 16%, right? You will need to give up damage for this. However, this generally won't be an issue, because if you have a better weapon with more melee skills, you're already going to have more than enough damage to one-shot everything anyway. So the mana nodes are just going to make the build feel a bit more smooth, right? Next question. My Flicker Strike doesn't look as good as yours in the video. It's not as fast. All right, so with that, it's just attack speed / dexterity. So right now I'm sitting at 275 dexterity, which, with the Hand of Wisdom in action, we're getting extra attack speed with that. Then also have attack speed on the weapon itself, right? So that's really that. And then make sure you're flickering with more than one power charge. Make sure you have as many power charges as you can before you flicker. Now, it's not going to be a big deal if you flicker with 2 or 3 power charges at the end of the day, but it won't be as cool, or you won't get as much coverage as potentially flickering with max power charges. I want to go CI. Can I go CI with this build? Yes, you can go CI, right? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes away from CI. However, I don't feel like it's worth going CI unless you just want to farm the ritual boss over and over again. Now, if you want to farm the ritual boss, you go 5 points. I would probably take them out of the quarterstaff nodes. This bottom half right here, you'd give up 1 power charge, some crit, and attack speed. At the end of the day, this isn't going to make or break the build, and you're going to see how to farm rituals. So yeah, with that being said, let's go over some actual changes to the tree that we've made since the last video. And I'm going to have all of this in the written guide as well, the changes anyway. So we did take Siphon. We were having mana issues at some points, like maybe if the mob density wasn't good, or if we couldn't hit the boss with Tempest Bell because it was moving around. Sometimes we'd have issues with mana. So we did take Siphon. We ended up taking more survivability nodes right here. And we ended up dropping, for that, we dropped 2 of the melee nodes down here, and we dropped some of these evasion nodes, like the pure evasion nodes here, to get some extra energy shield. And then we're going to have extra evasion here while we have energy shield anyway. I feel like these are superior, and we're actually still sitting at, we're actually at 86% evasion now with 3000 ES and 1800 life. So we are much more tankier than we were in the last video. And the reason I made these changes is because, you know, running juiced breaches, I'm pretty lazy. I don't look at the mods of the map. I don't want to look at the mods. I make sure it doesn't have element threshold on it, and boom, I run it. So sometimes with that, we would just get some really messed up mods. Or because we're killing so many monsters, you know, explodies on the screen, you can't see them, boom, you're dead. So this gives us a little bit more room. Makes it a little bit safer. I'm not having too big of an issue now because we are running, like I said, Grim Feast. So the difference between 2000 ES and 3000 ES with Grim Feast, you're actually hitting, you know, 6000 ES instead of 4000. So it's a fairly big difference. Yeah, so that's the tree. We're gonna go over the gear changes next. So yeah, let's get it. The gear updates is fairly small. The big change we've done is we've just dropped a lot of rarity. We had 300% rarity before. You know, after testing hundreds of breaches and then some videos coming out furthering like what I essentially thought, you don't need that much rarity. The sweet spot for gear, you know, is probably 100 to 150%, maybe even less than that if you just juice rarity on your maps. But at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. So we're running around 150% rarity now. We dropped rarity on the helmet to get more energy shield and some extra chaos res. We dropped rarity on our amulet. This gives us better, you know, defensive stats. We were able to pick up +3 melee with some dexterity and stuff to round out our stats. And then we dropped rarity on one of our rings for the same reason. This is going to give us a lot of damage. We got the lightning damage attacks, increased lightning damage, intellect for more lightning damage. That's pretty much it. The rest of the gear is fairly similar to what we had before, if not the exact same. I do want to update my weapon, but you know, I'm not too concerned with it. Eventually I'll dish out the divines or whatever, but lately I've been spinning the divines, just trying to make new builds. I did level a mercenary to 80, some potential mercenary builds coming out in the future. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much gear changes. So, you know, last but not least, I wanted to cover some channel updates. I'm going to be putting out a channel intro video going more in depth, but essentially what I want to do with this channel is I want to cover patch notes. I want to create builds, you know, I want to create league starter builds when we get closer to the season. I just want to test a bunch of different stuff and just get a feel of the game, try to learn as much as I can about it, and then present that information to y'all in a good way as well. So let me know if there's something I could do different with the layout, the style of the video, something that I'm missing. I do try to just do a full record and I don't really edit too much, so you know, at times it's a bit like, oh, what do I say? But, you know, I think for the most part, this is what I like doing. So, yeah, just let me know down below. And then we'll be pushing out an intro video, you know, soon enough. And we will see y'all next time. Thank you.